Yo, and good morning, and welcome back to the Windy City Smack Talk. And today we are talking about last night's SmackDown. Wow. Wow, this is the example of what a good fucking show needs to be. It had just about everything that you needed. You had really good wrestling, good storytelling, interlooping stories, and you had your fucking champion on the show and was prevalent during the show. And it seems like everybody's just walking all around. Like I said, that's why I hate the fucking brand splits. They really don't matter. If you can still walk around, not just champions, everybody apparently on everybody's show, then why even have a draft and say motherfuckers exclusively to SmackDown? There's one champion in this company right now, and it's John Cena. It's not Gunther. They successfully fucking clowned that title already, and if they go do it, I think they're gonna do, giving it to Goldberg, you might as well just fucking RIP that fucking title. And just have Cena be the GOAT and everybody run after him. That's just my opinion. But enough of that fucking rant shit. Let's get into this really good show. Alright, so we start with LA Knight coming out, talking to Shizzle about Seth Rollins and the faction, because I really don't even know what the fuck they're called yet. Paul Fatty comes out, gives it the typical bullshit. Hey, it's just me, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, Knight was cooking his ass, and then he said you need to chill out for some bad apathy. And then, of course, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker come up, but LA Knight kept his shit together, turned the tables, stood tall in this segment. Nick Aldis jumps immediately on the mic and books Knight and Reed. Immediate heat. Immediate. You know, I'm okay with this because it gives LA Knight something proper to do. This guy's a star. He's a big star. He's over as hell. He's like, to me, falling in that Jey Uso to where he's so over, you got to shit to, or get off the pot. If you don't want to strap him in the title picture just yet, that's cool, but he needs to fight predominantly upper card talent. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are not mega top tier guys, but they're hanging with a top tier guy, so by default they are. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with putting him in the storyline, and eventually if he can have a little program with Rollins until, you know, he has the money in the bank, I think this will be really good. Not so much for Seth, but it'll be great for LA Knight because he definitely needs this. So we're going to hop into the matches on this card, and these were some pretty surprisingly good matches this night. They really went above and beyond. So obviously we start with LA Knight versus Bronson Reed, your typical just, you know, beat down, blah, blah, blah. And then disqualification after Breaker interfered. We kind of all saw that happening. Not surprised there, but these type of matches is more towards storytelling and, plane building. They're building something here. I would love to see a program with LA Knight and Seth Rollins. You know, that will be good. And we already know LA Knight has been in matches with John Cena and fought Roman Reigns. So he's no stranger to the main event scene. We had a Queen of the Ring semifinal match, Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really shocked here. I'm really shocked that they gave Asuka the win. I didn't see it. I didn't think this was gonna happen. I thought Little Miss Bliss was gonna get there, not to win the whole thing, but like it seemed like they were pushing her for a bit. I'm not saying they stopped, but just wow, Asuka's coming back with a vengeance, and they're really pushing her. Kairi Sane came back, and she was just a whimper, but Asuka is sitting here dominant, and now she has this new Empress fucking thrust. I call it booty attack. That seems to be just broken, and can't nobody, really talk shit or, beat it. So that was amazing. Another banger with the King of the Ring semifinal, Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. Now, this was a good match. Sami, once again, gave everything he can. Randy is Randy. Really went through the paces. There was a lot of cool spots here. The counter for the Huluva kick to the RKO. The counter for the Huluva bomb. These guys just have great chemistry. These are great workers. Randy looks absolutely fucking phenomenal. Sammy McFoley Zayn is just like, yeah, and he took another loss. And it's like, the story really here is, when is Sammy going to snap? When is the evil Jiminy Cricket, Karrion Kross, gonna jump in and just say, dude, aren't you tired of fucking losing? Are you tired of getting your nagas kicked? Like, what the fuck? When is Sammy gonna snap? Is Sammy going to cost either Cody or Jay on Raw? Something has to give here. Something has to happen. And I would really want to see in the finals Cody versus Randy. I think that would be absolutely fucking phenomenal. But if we're telling storytelling here, I can see easily that if Cody does win, possible interference from Sammy costing Jay, setting up this long-awaited program of Sami Zayn and Jey Uso for SummerSlam. Grudge matches still hit, guys. Grudge matches still hit. We also had on here John Cena versus Ron Killings. All right, Cena wins by disqualification, but later unloads an attitude adjustment on CM Punk. And then he recreates the pipe bomb, Nuclear 2.0, which I will definitely talk about that later because there was a lot there. He really kind of yikes. So there you also had matches on this night. You had Charlotte Flair, which is a rare fucking wrestling appearance on SmackDown versus Chelsea Green. You know, Charlotte Flair. Like, she's not losing that. 100%. Other noticeable things that happened on this show. So we had a Aleister Black versus a rare Kit Wilson single match going on. But Ron Killings ran out, beat the shit out of Wilson, cutting him off, cutting him off, just snapping. He snapped the STFU, demanded Cena show up to set the tone. I'm coming for Cena. Aleister Black kind of stepped in like, hey, bro, mind your business. That's my match. I know you fucked up, you blew, but bro, don't fuck up my money. And then Damian Priest walked to him, because they were cool. Hey, technically, former Judgment Day members said, hey, bro, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, bro. But it seems like to me that R-Truth, Ron Killings, is doing like this fucking split personality disorder. Like, he has multiple personalities that like takes over at a whim. So this story is kind of interesting. Like, this reminds me of like Stone Cold used to do this back in the day. When he's pissed, he'll just run out in every match and just drop a stunner and fuck it up when he's pissed off to get what he wants. So this is very interesting. I'm really enjoying this version of R-Truth. Also, something to think about, Black and Killings kind of squared off and looked at each other like, hey, bro, Aleister Black, like, nigga, you don't want this. You don't want this. You don't want this. So this is interesting because it's like he's still pissed off at Cena, but they're also finding ways just to have him be a disruptor, and they'll give him things to do so he can fully flesh out this new Ron Killings character. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. Then we also had a great promo with Cody, Jay, Sammy, and Randy. This is a lot of energy in the ring, a lot of anger in the ring. Jay hyped up the match, you know what I'm saying? There's only room for one of us at the top. Very babyface promo. Sammy talked about unfinished business and climbing the mountain, which, we know obviously it didn't happen for Sammy. And Orton dropped the mic in respect don't use, but he warned Zayn, like, tonight, King's match is for real. Like, basically, Orton was telling him, as we talked about earlier, like, hey, look, bro, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get here. I felt like these three kind of dominated. Cody was just kind of there. It was just kind of sell the tension that, Cody and Jay are such good friends, former tag champions, but, Monday they got to go at each other. So they got to kind of throw all that out the window. And also what I feel is really cool here is, Cody cut a promo when he came back against Cena. And he also said, like, hey, I fucked up last time. I made a mistake. And I didn't pull the trigger. But trust me, I'm going to pull that trigger next time. I'm not going to bullshit around. So is he going to start with Jay? With Jay's ribs, is that going to play a factor? Is Cody going to go for the ribs? Because it also played back to where when Kevin Owens, when I think Cody had a leg injury and Kevin couldn't pull the trigger because he didn't want to win that way. But we'll see. There's a lot of good underneath storytelling happening. I'm very excited. Also, we had Nia Jax versus Tiffy's. Nia called out and it reminded her who the boss is. Statin for feuds and teased the last woman standing match next week. Nia hit a spine-buster leg drop. Naomi tried to cash in the Money in the Bank, and the chaos followed. They locked in for that match. So again, she's not. Look, Trinity Naomi is not cashing on Tiffany. I still say she's gonna cash in on potentially, I believe, Bianca Belair, and I'll get to that a little later on. So then, of course, you had the Cena Truth Punk main event and the promo heat. Cena, it was a good match and ending disqualification. Punk came out, got his ass whooped, got thrown through the table, and then motherfucking John Cena legitimately cut a fucking nuclear warhead on fucking Punk. Dropping Matt Cardona, Claudio, Nick, teasing possible returns. The biggest mic moment of the evening. The people are still talking it as I'm recording this right now. There was a couple lines in there that was like stung, where he said, "You're not Punk, you're a capitalist. You're not against TKO, you are Mr. TKO." Because we all know TKO was, part of the because we all know, even back during then, TKO, WWE negotiate that really great big contract, this, that, and the other. So we know that. That was a great play on words. And he's like, he dropped like, "Bro, you're the biggest bullshitter ever." He dropped so much in that. And you could tell this was all Jonathan Felix. This was not the character John Cena. This was Jonathan Felix and how he truly felt. And it was great. The only gripe about it, I felt like Punk laid down a little too long. I felt like he kind of should have not recovered, but just kind of gave a look like damn. Kind of how when he cut the promo, Cena was kind of laid up and looking at him like damn. But I get it. He got 2 belt shots, went through the table, so he really had to just lay there and sell and get cooked. I get it. But besides that was absolutely amazing. Everything here was really, really good. Also, WWE released recordings of Cena and Nick Aldis arguing before Cena's match. Lots of tension. Cena massive rant warning Aldis, reflecting on the main event drama. I really love this. Like, I'm even reading here, like, a lot of fan posts on Reddit. Like, Cena just ripped somebody else's promo off, and it didn't really do. That's Papa John cutaway is so goofy. People are really, like, just going at it. It is just so fucking cool. So, basically, we're going to break this down even further. The night in Heyman's opening sets up LA Knight, in my opinion, versus a Seth Rollins feud match for next week. This is just what I'm predicting, and I think this will be great. Impact, this will be strong elevation immediately. Okay, you got the Truth and Black backstage little thing. It's build up the Truth and Cena narrative. This is what this is doing. Emotional heat. They're really trying to show how much Cena has broken one of the most lovable characters possibly of all time. So I like that. Then we have the Rhodes, Usos, Sammy, Orton, basically to promote the King of the Ring finals. This is to build tension in this tournament. This tournament is interesting because you don't know where it's going to go. You got Jackson Stratton, stakes claimed for the last woman standing. They're really pumping up the women's division. They really want to make these women strong, which they are. And I like a last woman standing match for Tiffany versus Nia, because Tiffany, this could be a way she can prevail, and this is a strong, believable way that Nia could win. So it basically, this works for both wrestlers. This is great. The Cena Truth Punk promo, main mic moment, pipe bomb homage. Huge buzz, AEW, WWE crossover tees, which are always cool. And like he said, they didn't cut my mic. This is just amazing. So this was just my quick review of what I thought about last night's SmackDown. If I'm going to give it an impact score, I would give it a strong 8.5 out of 10. Also, honorable mention, Jade cut a pretty decent promo, hyping herself up in the Queen of the Ring as well. Again, I think if I'm booking it, she should win it and find her way to getting a title shot, but I want her to go through Belair first. And there's a reason why. But I got to see where Bianca falls in on here. So, like always, man, stay cool, stay fresh, stay chilling, catch the super kick, you feel me? And also, if you are anywhere in the 16 states where it's 1,000 degrees, please stay hydrated. Please do anything you got to do right now, especially if you're in Chicago, because it's already fucking hot and it's like literally going on 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you got to run to the store, get water, get this, get it now, and stay hydrated and stay cool, stay safe, and we out.